Players are ready. Our referee, Ulrich Tesgale, very ready out there in the arena, I can tell. So let's get out to it. Our first match, Luke Gilbert versus Sean Ashe. Yeah, we Luke Gilbert to break off. First off here in the Champions League Group 3. And we didn't really speak about it in his sort of build-up there, Simon, but Luke Gilbert, categorically one of the biggest breakers on the circuit. Yes, he plays quick, but my goodness me, has he got a good break. He might have actually quite a small frame, but he's a fabulous cueist. He has great timing, and the power he gets is remarkable, isn't it?
It really is. He's got a fantastic break, although we came across this one and he still gets the big power and the big split, and he's got a great opportunity to start tonight well.
It will be reds for Luke, and has he already come a little bit unstuck? There's your answer.
Yeah, not a good shot actually. I'm assuming he was playing on the red that he's nearest to, and if he was, he's overhit that dramatically. It still goes, but the cue ball is running loose and very off angle. Not quite.
It was a good effort actually.
We're very disappointed. That was as good an opportunity for a break clearance as you could ever hope for in the opening frame of a match. Almost needed, if he gets the first positional shot right, we'll probably see him just roll balls in from there off there, and you think, oh, this game's easy. And he got himself half out of position, and it comes to an end.
Well, we often get comments about how big's the table that you play on an Ultimate Pool. It's a 7x4. But few players are going to make it look smaller than Sean the Shark Ashe. He's a big man. He's got a real presence around the arena. It was a fabulous shot to open things up, and I think the way that he's attacked that opening frame tells us about his approach tonight. He's going for absolutely everything. He's not standing on ceremony, and he's going to go aggressive. He was actually a little bit unlucky because the bump out shot that he played probably deserved better than to land on just that offset plan, which was very missable.
Yeah, agreed. Looks like he wants to be aggressive. I mean, most players do these days.
But first time properly out there in a singles environment on your pro debut on the Monday night. He's played in the Pairs Cup before, but a whole different kettle of fish. And even though he's not got out there, I'm pleased to see that, because I think that says everything you need to know about his attitude for tonight.
The only thing I'd be disappointed is it went wrong. You know,
sure.
And you've got these matches are going to come down to fine margins. They always do. And you've got Luke Gilbert, our top seed tonight, making a mistake and not being punished. And you know, I know it's tough, but that could be, you know, a long way to go in this match, of course. But that could be the moment he'll look back on and think, what could have been. Pretty nice. See him just sort of target the yellow there. He knows if he reaches it, he's good. And if he overhits it, he's into it and controls it, uses the target. And as easy as he's making this look right now, that's what we were expecting on the very first visit. He went wrong, but got the second chance.
Yeah, and it's going to be a difficult night for Sean. We know that. He's going to need chances. He's going to need things to go his way. A little bit unlucky there, perhaps. But for Luke Gilbert, this is just another day at the office for him. He's been out in that arena plenty of times at this stage. He knows what to expect. He knows what he's doing. And he's a genuinely world-class operator.
That. It feels like he's tapping the brake there, and they just, oh dear, that's harsh to watch. They just disintegrated on him. She loses the cue ball just a touch, but the power is there. And he turned around to go and pick up his playing cue, and unfortunately he's not going to need it right now. That was a tough watch. Two problems on the table here though for Luke Gilbert, so this is a far trickier chance than the opening one was for him. Could be clever here. Take reds, lost a turn at the bottom of the table, and then win a tactical exchange potentially. Might try and break out the one at the top burst when playing this shot. Yeah, he was. But now he's in a spot of bother. But the good news for him is that the yellow at the bottom's a big problem ball as well. For yellows, that is. So, you know, okay, if that comes out nicely, then he's got options. And he was probably going to look for a ball to break out the problem at the bottom there. And worst case scenario, you can find a loss of turn and hide the white. Not from here. Bit of cat and mouse here. That was a pretty good shot at first glance from Sean, because I don't think the red goes at the bottom, but the yellow might, which means that, yeah, that's a good situation. It's tight though, but then that's for later on in the visit though. That maybe tells us that the yellow doesn't. The fact that Luke was confident enough to open up there the balls at the top of the table. Tough off the cushion, dead weight, length of the table.
Yeah, frustrating start for him. You just feel like in any sort of instance like this, you just want what a nice easy one to go out, get your arm going, get your first frame on the board. It is a cliche, but it, you know, often cliches are there because they stand true, and the one in this sense is you don't feel comfortable till you got that first frame on the board, and
first frame and first clearance in a strange way. Now, if Luke can just get to the left-hand side of the 8-ball, doesn't need to get close to it, in all honesty. Yeah, that's the line. So you want to be on the red furthest left, and you almost, depending on the angle you get, you can just fall into the problem and solve it, and they've got the red over right centre to land on. So depending on what the angle is he gets. Oh, is he there? He might not have gone far enough. And that does change things. Obviously not on anything else. Playing safe. It's a good safety though, isn't it? It is a good safety. Doesn't have to be aggressive here. You could just play the red and try and get the cue ball to not touch the yellow, but as close to the yellow as possible without touching. And then you should get a good chance next visit. Essentially what he's done there. I thought he'd do it off the other red. Maybe try and get that red over the bottom right hand corner pocket, but same sort of idea of shot. Just left enough to pot, and Sean has taken advantage. Right then, Stephen, you mentioned all he wants is a good opportunity to get the cue on. This is it. This is good. Looks like he's looking down the table. He doesn't need to. You can roll the one in along the top cushion, gets you on left centre, and that should get you on the yellow to top left. And all you have to do is come down. You've got such a wide margin of error to get onto the last yellow. Not really a problem going this way either. You just have to make sure that you get not straight but close to.
A couple of very good players in that shot there. At the front was Jaden Billingham, who we already saw in the Champions League, 17-year-old. He's almost a running mate with Sean Ashe. Those two practice together. As you heard from Sean in his interview, he usually spends a lot of time getting beaten up by him. But this will settle some nerves for the Shark. And you can see about that rhythm around the table. Luke mentioned it in his interview that he's played Sean a bit. He knows he's a quick player. And in that sense, if they can pick up a flow tonight, we should see some really fast, free-flowing 8-ball. And that will make him feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling an awful lot better right now. First frame as a pro.
Cracking break from Luke Gilbert. Great break, but no friends. It is bone dry for Luke Gilbert. Sean Ashe, fresh off that clearance, gets the opportunity to go in front. These Reds have a very obvious and present danger, and that is the one just to the north of the right centre pocket. How you develop that is key to this frame. Doesn't double, at least the left centre pocket. It may sneak on a road line to the top left, but you're going to want to play into it, I'm almost certain.
It doesn't have the angle though. This is a challenge. Could play some sort of billiard potentially. Trying to get up to use the red over the top to play the cannon. So leaving your problem late is just such a disaster, really. I mean, it's all on this shot.
All on that shot, but he couldn't have played it much better. He's so cruel if he's not on this.
Yeah, because it even if he can see it, it does go top left as well as top right. So if that stops, you know, a millimetre short of where it has, then he would have been able to pot it.
Remember, the cue ball is smaller than the object ball, which helps, but the fact that he's lining up kick options will tell you that he can't quite see the potting angle here, and he's very unlucky there. Very unlucky. That was the result, not great.
That should cost him the frame as well. He's just opened everything up here for Luke. What a difference a millimetre can make, eh? That's everything. Frustration. Luke might be a little bit annoyed here. Straighter would have been better. But just changes his route. Doesn't want to land flat on the cushion here. And he has just a touch. So he's just a roll out previously. And now he's a roll out again. If he gets straighter on that previous one, he can pull back, take the one above the cue ball now and leave this one as his last ball. And more control to get a good angle to get onto the 8-ball. Should still solve the problem, but just giving himself more work. Still going to get out though. know if Sean will be how he'll be feeling about that visit. Really, that was tough right from the start. He had obviously gets first poke, but I don't know whether he would have always taken that on, or whether it was worth pulling back earlier. He chased it from basically saying it was all eggs in one basket there to make sure you make the finish. Always had a problem, couldn't find a way to solve it, and it came down to one shot that didn't work out for him. That break though, that is going to be a big weapon for Sean this year. That break. I mean, I've said that we're 2 breaks into him being a professional, and both breaks have gone poorly for him, but trust me, that break is going to be a huge weapon for Sean. Yeah,
and it's the sort of break that when you look at his results on the Challenge Series, you look at that and think, yeah, I can see why you've done well with a start like that of every frame every alternate frame essentially.
I mean, everyone can hit good breaks out there. He's in the category of players that it sounds different when he hits it, and it looks so easy to do.
And we talked about it with Luke earlier. By contrast, Sean is a very big guy. You can see where that power comes from, but it is about levering that power, isn't it, and managing to transfer it through, and he does so very, very well.
If that cannon had gone right for Luke and knocked that yellow over the pocket and been on it, we may well be talking about the match essentially being over. We still might. That was a good pot into the centre, a little bit harder than it looked on camera. Now likely leave the yellow at the top of the table for last ball, but likely to have a slightly strange angle onto it to get good onto the 8 ball. Wanted to leave the low angle because he wants to get higher than the straight so that he can come down. He could even play for the 8 ball bottom right, or it's easier to play for it left centre. If he just puts the 8 ball the cue ball where the 8 ball is, then he's got a slightly strange angle. So that's why, and that is a massive mistake. That is huge.
Oh, wowee.
Huge. What an error for a player at Luke's level to make, to go straight in off there.
With less than 3 minutes to go.
Where was he expecting to get to? There's no line through there. It must have felt like he was flicking a red, maybe. That's a big error. I was still fully expecting him to get out there. I was just kind of working how he was going to get nicely on the 8 ball, and all of a sudden that changes everything.
Yeah, it's a big surprise.
This is a bonus for Sean, it really is.
Oh, this is manna from heaven for him. This is a complete freebie. And the best thing is he's rattled through this clearance, and you never know. All of a sudden it's 2-2, less than 2 minutes to play.
Well, here's a question for you then. Obviously, timed matches now, that's not something that Sean will have spent, he's had a little bit of experience, but not much with. He did that really quickly. We didn't even get close to hearing the beeps on that visit. I think he could have easily added a minute to that clearance, just because he had 7-8 shots there.
I like his thinking though. He knows both can play. He wants time into the match so he can go and win it.
But my thinking being, we've got 2 minutes left, and it's Luke Gilbert's break. If he uses the extra minute and say gets it down to 1 minute left, you're really putting the pressure on. Whereas right now it's it's 1:53. Right now it's a fairly standard break finish at 15 seconds a shot will win it for Luke.
Yeah, I can completely see the logic.
He's going to get the reward for it, so
gamble pays off.
Credit to him. I think it was a gamble, but it pays off as much as he gets the first chance. But it's not a good layout.
It's all he wanted though, is the first chance.
He might have an angle to develop the only bad red first shot. It's tricky.
Yeah, red to top right, in towards the red, just below the right centre pocket. And might be a little thin.
Yeah, it might just be able to dig it though.
Oh, yes, no, perfect. Cue ball needs to stay up.
That's okay.
Oh, that's come out a dream.
Yeah,
That's come out perfectly.
Right.
Big chance to win your first match, Sean.
What does he do here? Because he's got not much angle. Does he back himself to make the red top right, the one on the right-hand side? Oh, he tried to go cushion first. Just the way that, this table plays so pure out there, I think you could back yourself if you got onto the right side cushion underneath that red to make the clearance, to make the red up top right. And then because it's such a natural cue ball, you get fairly straight in on red to left centre and everything's there for you. I think it was worth the risk because it would have been an extra shot. He would have only left Luke 30 seconds.
As it is, Luke has burned best part of 20 seconds here, trying to just figure this one out. Wasn't easy on yellows, and it still isn't. And I think he's accepting his fate here of a draw. Yeah, he's frustrated, but I think he's going to have to settle for a point.
He has settled for a point, hasn't he? He knows he's going to run the clock down here, and that frustration, that isn't about this visit. That frustration's about the previous visit where he went in off. That was such a big error for a player at Luke's ability. In fact, it was 2 errors really: the shot before the in off and then the in off. And yeah, that's going to really frustrate him. But he keeps control. He's still going to walk away with a point.
Yeah, match over. Luke Gilbert and Sean Ashe settle their differences with a point. It's an interesting start there, and it throws the group wide open.